Two are deceased in the vehicle. Daughter's driving.
Who died?
I don't know whether, but there's one that we don't know. His name's Jacob. Does anyone know a Jacob?
Dom?
No, stop. Let him talk.
Guys, I know, we've been dealing with this. Your daughter's okay. She's talking to us. I talked to her, okay? Your daughter's alive, okay? Your daughter's alive. She was driving the vehicle, okay?
Who was that? Jacob and who?
I think, what's the name you said?
Dom?
Might be.
Oh my God.
Stop.
What's his relation to you?
My boyfriend.
Okay, yeah, then Dom was in the car.
Stop. Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
It's right now, it's ongoing investigation. Speed is definitely a factor. So are drugs.
Tom is dead?
So she's sentenced on count 2, the murder of Davion Flanagan, 15 years to life. She's sentenced on count 1, the murder of Dominic Russo, 15 years to life, to be served concurrent to each other with credit for time served. I'll waive fines, fees, and costs, and your appellate counsel will be assigned. Are there any questions from the state?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
You're innocent.
Have you ever met someone so damaged that heartbreak turned lethal? This is the story of Mackenzie Shirilla, a teenager whose life of privilege, control, and emotional chaos led her from the halls of a suburban high school straight into the walls of a prison cell. Mackenzie Shirilla grew up in Strongsville, Ohio, a town of quiet streets and manicured lawns where families built lives on stability and tradition. Her father, John, was a creative soul, first a graphic designer, then an art teacher. He encouraged Mackenzie to express herself through art. Her mother, Natalie, kept the family's world running smoothly. Their home was filled with laughter and warmth, no signs of dysfunction. On the surface, Mackenzie's upbringing was as normal as it gets. No childhood trauma, no chaos. But sometimes the most dangerous storms brew behind closed doors, invisible to the outside world. At Strongsville High, Mackenzie was stylish, confident, and always surrounded by friends. Her social media was a highlight reel of parties and laughter. But behind the image was a more complicated reputation, stories of drama, manipulation, and a darker side only some saw. Friends called her magnetic but unpredictable. Others called her a bully, a manipulator, someone who always got her way. That need for control bled into every relationship she touched, leaving a trail of tension, heartbreak, and, eventually, tragedy. Mackenzie wasn't the outcast. In fact, she was the kind of girl everyone noticed the moment she walked into a room. Her presence was magnetic, commanding attention, admiration, and sometimes even fear. She had a reputation that stretched far beyond her grade, and everyone at school knew her name. She was the queen of drama. If there was a rumor, a fight, or a scandal, Mackenzie was usually at the center of it. Her circle of friends was tight, but loyalty was always tested by the next big blow-up. Known for vicious fights, explosive breakups, and empty apologies, Mackenzie's social life was a constant storm. Arguments would erupt in the middle of crowded hallways, and apologies were often just a pause before the next round. But one relationship stood out more than the rest: Dominic Russo, her boyfriend. Their connection was intense, passionate, and impossible to ignore. Dominic was older, streetwise, and dangerously loyal. He had a reputation of his own, and together they were a force that everyone else tried to avoid crossing. Their relationship wasn't just messy, it was radioactive, volatile, unpredictable, and always on the verge of disaster. Every argument felt like it could be the last. Friends say they fought constantly. Their arguments were legendary, and everyone seemed to have a story about witnessing one of their blowouts. At one point, Mackenzie threatened to crash the car with both of them inside. It wasn't just talk, her anger was real, and so was the fear it created. Even parents and teachers started to notice. Whispers about Mackenzie and Dominic's fights made their way into PTA meetings and late-night phone calls between concerned adults. They began dating around 2018. Mackenzie was just 14 and Dominic was already driving. Their age gap raised eyebrows, but no one could stop them. It started like any teen romance: texts, sleepovers, parties. For a while it seemed almost normal, even sweet, but it spiraled into jealousy, threats, and obsession. The drama never stopped and the stakes kept getting higher. In one message, Mackenzie wrote, "I'll make you sorry for doing this." Her words were sharp, and her anger was impossible to ignore. By 2022, it wasn't a relationship anymore. It was a powder keg, ready to blow at any moment with everyone around them holding their breath. And on July 31st, it exploded. The fallout would change everything, leaving scars that no one could ignore. At 5:30 in the morning, Mackenzie got behind the wheel. The streets were empty, the world silent before dawn. With her were Dominic and Davian Flanagan, both unaware of what was coming. Surveillance cameras caught the car accelerating to 100 miles per hour. There was no hesitation, no attempt to brake. The car slammed into a brick wall with devastating force. Both Dominic and Davian died instantly. The community was left reeling, struggling to understand how this could happen. Judge Nancy Russo reviewed the black box data. No braking, only acceleration. Prosecutors called it a calculated act. Every detail pointed to intent. The way Mackenzie gripped the wheel, her focus, the speed, all suggested this was planned. Toxicology reports found THC and magic mushrooms in her system, raising more questions about her state of mind. This wasn't a moment of madness, it was a downward spiral that ended in tragedy. The timeline leading to the crash was littered with red flags, drugs. Mackenzie had THC and mushrooms in her system. Emotion. She and Dominic had just fought again. Execution, full throttle, no brakes, dead on impact. A crash that lasted 5 seconds and ended 2 lives. At trial, Mackenzie didn't testify, but she read a carefully written statement. "I hope one day you can see I would never do this on purpose." The judge didn't buy it. She was found guilty on all 12 counts, including 4 charges of murder. She received 15 to life. The courtroom was packed with the victims' families, stone-faced, broken, and still no real apology, just excuses. In the body cam footage, Mackenzie didn't cry for Dominic. She didn't ask about Davian. She said, "Be careful taking off this bracelet, so it doesn't break." 2 boys were dead, and she was worried about jewelry. Her appeal was denied by the Ohio Supreme Court in April 2025. She's serving her sentence in prison, life, with a slim chance of parole after 15 years. But for 2 families, there is no parole, only permanent loss. Drugs, despair, deliberate death, 1 girl, 2 victims, 100 miles per hour, privilege, control, collapse. Mackenzie Shirilla wasn't a victim. She wasn't misunderstood. She was a girl given every opportunity, a loving family, a good school, a comfortable life. But when she didn't get her way, she snapped. Her heartbreak wasn't just personal, it became lethal. This case isn't about teen drama. It's about power, control, and how unchecked emotional chaos, when ignored long enough, can kill. What do you think? Premeditated murder or reckless teen tragedy? Drop your take in the comments. And if you want more chilling breakdowns like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay alert. Because here on DarkObserver, the truth always finds the light.